Hello everyone. So thank you for joining this Real Money Gaming Customer Fireside Chat. Really excited about the next 10 to 15 minutes. I'm joined by James Conway, Technology Director. I'm joined by Richard Perez, Communication Services Specialist at Amazon Web Services. And I myself am James Bowman, Account Manager here in London. So guys, thanks for being here. We're going to talk today over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so about responsible gaming and how Tombola have built a really unique, a really interesting solution on the AWS platform. But why don't we start, James, with a little bit about Tombola, a little bit about your role. It's a really unique business, so it'd be amazing to kind of hear about where Tombola have come from and why you've been so successful.
Yeah, so Tombola traces its roots back to, I think technically back to the 1800s, to a stationery shop on the high street in Sunderland, technically. But more recently, the history of Tombola is born out of a print and traditional bingo tickets, land-based bingo tickets. And then even more recently, we moved online, and it's just grown from there, really. And what makes Tombola different is that we do everything ourselves. So we build our own products and we manage our own tech, and nobody else really does that throughout the rest of the industry. So what that means is that Tombola's content is absolutely unique. You will not find our product games on any other competitor sites, and vice versa. You won't find any competitors' games on our site either.
Wow, I can definitely endorse that. We've spent a lot of time up in Sunderland with the Tombola teams, all the engineers and developers, and it's a massive build culture. A really, really, really build-centric business. Take a lot of time and effort to get the games right and get the player experience right. The other one of the other things that we really admire about Tombola is this impact of the player experience and the responsible gaming element to that. Do you want to talk just for a second, as to why responsible gaming is so important to you guys?
Yeah, for sure. One of our core values is putting the player first. A lot of people say that, I know that, but we actually live and breathe it. And we focus on low cost, time as a value proposition for our players. All of our content is unique, as I said earlier, and what that means is that we focus entirely on the players, and we put the players first in everything we do. And responsible gambling is a huge part of that. It really is ingrained in the culture in Tombola, throughout every team, throughout the tech teams, the marketing teams, the customer engagement teams. Everybody lives and breathes responsible gambling.
No, absolutely, and it was clear to see. So over the last 12 months, we've been working on a project with you guys around responsible gaming and around safe play. And one of the first things we did was talk to the contact center agents, and pretty much from the director of that team and the people in her team, everything they said was always about the player first, and making sure they're enjoying their time with Tombola, but they're safe in doing so. So maybe you can talk for a second around how AWS has helped you innovate in responsible gaming and the solution you've built or you've come up with.
Yeah, so we've worked with you guys at AWS for I think 7 or 8 years now, and really it's helped. More generally, it's helped us grow the business. Tombola's more than doubled in size in that time, which I don't think would have been possible with our traditional setup. But more recently, we've started working on a new project to kind of consolidate all of our messaging, our player messaging. So how we contact our players, whether that's marketing or customer service, customer interaction. We've worked on a project to consolidate all of that into one platform, which is Pinpoint. So we have a central messaging hub in Tombola, which allows us to be more intelligent about how we message our players.
James, what challenges has this really resolved for you and the team?
So a big challenge is normally, we had multiple different tools serving different platforms, different channels. So, one for SMS, one for push notifications, one for email. And the challenge is kind of synchronizing those systems. We have a kind of a unique challenge in our industry, whereby we have certain statuses of players which we're from a regulatory perspective, but not allowed to message those players. And this is an industry-wide challenge, but what you can't find is off the shelf with these tools is a solution. So nothing ever kind of allows us to quite easily synchronize that data. So what we kind of have at the minute is a big kind of lots of different synchronization processes, and which just increases the risk of one of them going wrong and the maintenance overhead, all of that stuff. But the Pinpoint solution brings all of that into one place. So we just have one place that we need to worry about, that synchronization, keeping that data right and safe.
Probably a good idea to describe to the viewers this solution in a little bit more detail. This reference architecture shows how Amazon Pinpoint can mitigate the risk of accidentally communicating with self-excluded players. Amazon Pinpoint is our multi-channel communication service for message delivery, management and optimization. We're able to support customers in two distinct ways. Starting with the blue Pinpoint icon, customers often have different services as described by James for each communication channel, causing complexity in their environment. This is compounded when teams are required to carry out frequent syncs between these tools and a data source of truth. Maintaining the integrity of these systems and tools can be cumbersome, and they do increase the risk when there is a sync or system issue. With the adoption of Amazon Pinpoint, you can consolidate these tools to one service, simplifying the environment. Once a player segment has been created and a message scheduled, customers can use Amazon Pinpoint message management feature to validate the player segment with the self-exclusion register. In this example, we have GAMStop, the UK self-exclusion register, but it can be with any data source or any third-party register. If the player segment identifies a match with the third-party register, the player is automatically removed from that segment. Once a segment has been fully validated against that self-exclusion data source, the message is automatically delivered and received by the recipient.
Brilliant, thanks Rich for explaining that. So safe play is obviously really important for everyone, for every player around the world. So whilst this is bringing immediate benefits to Tombola, how does the communication hub solution, how can it be a benefit to the industry as a whole?
Well, yeah, the challenge that I've just described and Rich just went into a bit more depth is, as you say, is a general problem around the industry. So every operator will be struggling with the same challenges, the overhead in maintaining the different systems, and the progress we've made with the Pinpoint project is definitely going to be used to anybody who adopts a similar thing.
So it's repeatable, you feel?
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. And when you went through this process with AWS, I know you've been through lots of projects with AWS over the last 6-7 years, but how did AWS specifically get involved to I guess help come up with the idea or design the solution? What was the key role they played?
So yeah, I mean, as we said earlier, we've worked with AWS for a long time, and the engagement's been great. And when we kind of identified this challenge and Pinpoint as a potential solution to this challenge, we engaged with you guys straight away. But the engagement has just been fantastic throughout this project. Introducing us to the product teams at AWS, working with the account teams at AWS, and it's been a real collaboration, and it's been excellent. Yeah, no question.
Thank you, and it's great to hear that feedback. I think the biggest benefit we've had, to put it back to Tombola as well, is we really want to do more and more with the real money gaming industry, and we're learning all the time. So the time and the effort that your teams and you yourself have given us to help us really understand actually the solutions the industry needs, help us understand the challenge around safe play, has been fantastic, and we wouldn't have been able to help support without that time. So it really is a collaboration between the two partners. It's great. For Tombola, what's next? It's always busy at Tombola. It's always really exciting times. But what's key on the 2023 roadmap?
Yeah, so more of the same, more great product for our players, more players. We passionately believe in our product, and the engagement we get with our players, and we passionately believe in the entertainment aspect of our product, and that's generally what we're planning for this year. But more specifically to this conversation with Pinpoint, we're looking to further improve our customer engagement with things like Connect, and kind of integrating Pinpoint and Connect together with AI/ML, backed by AI/ML. More customer engagement, more improvements. Yeah.
Wow, I look forward to supporting that digital engagement process. It could be really exciting, and hopefully we'll bring some improvement and also new experience to the players. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Thank you very much for your time and talking to us today. And Richard, obviously, thank you yourself as well. And thank you for listening at home.